Hello and welcome to the Hub Podcast. My name is Eric Berger, Director of Marketing for Better Good, the maker of VolunteerHub. And today I have the privilege of speaking to Laura Van Booven, Director of Community Engagement for Habitat for Humanity of South Central New Jersey. Habitat for Humanity of South Central New Jersey is an Enterprise One VolunteerHub client, and in this interview, we'll learn more about how they are using VolunteerHub to better recruit, engage, and manage their volunteers. Hey Laura, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for taking time out of your day to speak with me, and I appreciate it a
Yeah,
lot.
of course. More than happy to.
So just to kind of kick things off, and I know we're jumping right in, but can you tell me a little bit about Habitat for Humanity of South Central New Jersey?
Yeah, of course. So essentially, we putting faith into action. We bring people together to build homes, communities, and hope. Our vision is to create a world where everyone has a decent place to live. I always say, essentially, we seek to transform lives through safe, decent, and affordable home ownership. As an affiliate, we cover 4 counties in New Jersey. So we cover Mercer, Burlington, Camden, and Atlantic counties. We also cover 2 townships in Middlesex County, Cranberry and Plainsboro townships.
Perfect. And what does your role look like within the
Um,
organization?
yeah, so my role is the director of community engagement. So in that role, I oversee our community engagement efforts. That's related to nonprofit partnerships, community events. I do a lot of presentations, but of course, especially for this call, I run and oversee the entire volunteer department.
Which I'm sure keeps you very busy.
It does, yes.
So, kind of stepping back, do you have any measurable impact that you can talk about?
As of this year, we are able to build and close on 10 homes. That obviously aligns with our strategic plan, which is to continue our program, and then 75 repairs. So the builds and the repairs, of course, where volunteers come in is they allow that to happen. So they're on the build sites, they're on the repair sites, they're also in our restores, which help fund all of that, as well as in the office, helping with special events. So the more volunteers we have, the more builds we can achieve and repairs in a single year.
And how many volunteers do you typically work with on an annual basis?
Yeah, so with COVID, obviously our numbers kind of got fudged a little bit with all of that. But on average, I saw for this past year, we were at about 1,800 individual volunteers. And that doesn't count volunteers that came out multiple times. So just 1,800 solid volunteers. So close to 2,000 in a year.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot of volunteers. What kind of roles do volunteers fill? I think you touched on that briefly, but
Yeah, so at our affiliate, we try to incorporate volunteers anywhere we can. The main volunteer roles where they're going to fill is the build and repair sites as well as the restore. So, for instance, the build sites and the repair sites. So, the repair sites is through our neighborhood revitalization program. So, for that, volunteers are helping individuals who already own their home with some exterior repairs. We have volunteers do the exterior ones. But for the build and repair sites, we take individual volunteers, we take group volunteers. So the roles that those volunteers are fulfilling is they are building and repairing those homes. So we cannot continue those homes without the help of volunteers. If volunteers don't come out, the builds don't get done, the homeowners don't receive much needed repairs. And then for our restores, those are our retail operations open to the public. So the volunteers there are helping move the restores forward. A lot of times, whether it's groups or individuals, they'll help assemble furniture. Our affiliate is unique where the majority of our items are brand new. So we get brand new furniture, rugs, building supplies, appliances, things like that. The staff themselves, they don't have time to assemble the items, but assembling the items helps them sell. It's much easier to sell an item that someone sees put together versus in a box and they don't know what's in there. So our volunteers will come in, they'll assemble the items, they'll help them sell. They also help with organizing the store, cleaning the store, really anything that's needed. So those are the 3 main areas, but we also have an office volunteer. So we take office volunteers when we can. Volunteers will help us at our special events such as fundraisers. So we can't do the fundraisers without them because they're usually helping with the administration of things. And then we also have youth volunteers. So we'll have many youth volunteers who maybe aren't old enough to be at the restore or the build and repair sites. They'll do off-site projects. So we have actually about to pick up some bird and bee houses in the next few weeks that a youth group made for us. So they'll make off-site projects, they'll donate them to our affiliate, and then we're able to give those to future homeowners.
so what you're trying to say is volunteers are important.
I was like, how much more information can I give you?
So I know prior to using Volunteer Hub, you guys were using Galaxy Digital to manage volunteers. Can you just talk a little bit about some of the pitfall, like what led you to look at a different volunteer management solution?
Yeah, so before Galaxy, we did not have any system. So, it was me using an Outlook calendar without any sort of system. It just wasn't working anymore because we kept growing. So, Outlook calendar works if you are a smaller affiliate, maybe, but even then, it just wasn't becoming. We weren't able to continue moving forward at the rate that we needed to. So we started to look into other programs. I actually forget how they actually came across Galaxy Digital. I'm not sure of that, but I was part of the implementation of it. The real summary of Galaxy Digital is that it just wasn't organized well, at least for us and for what we needed. So from a administration standpoint, for us using it as well as volunteers, it wasn't an easy to use platform. It was confusing when you went to it. We couldn't figure out how to make sense of how to register for opportunities and then how to really track those items. I even went to another affiliate who uses Galaxy Digital today to remind myself of what it looked like. And it wasn't a system. We needed something that was easy for volunteers to see what we had available, to filter that, and same for us, something that we could easily track volunteers, see what they're signing up for. And then also with Galaxy Digital is that we needed it to integrate with Salesforce. We were told that it could, and there kept being delays, and in the end, we didn't get that Salesforce integration. So that was also a major pitfall for us related to Galaxy. But in the end, it just wasn't organized the way that we needed it to be. Being a bigger affiliate with covering the 4 counties and so many different volunteer opportunities, we needed something that was easy for everybody using it.
When you were looking for a different solution, the main problem that you were trying to solve was easeability of use.
One that could capture the information that we needed. So we do a lot of reporting at our affiliate for number of volunteers, volunteer hours, things like that. So we needed something that was not only easy to use, but something that we could easily track and take capture data from.
And integrate with
Yeah,
Salesforce.
yeah.
Looking at Volunteer Hub, can you talk about some of your favorite features of the solution? And then also, has it met your expectations transitioning from Galaxy Digital to Volunteer Hub?
Yeah, so we are big fans of VolunteerHub. I really like every feature that you all offer. It has been a world of difference going from Galaxy Digital to VolunteerHub. There really is no comparison to make because you're just completely different platforms for obviously a very, very good reason for VolunteerHub. So I'll be short. I kind of created a list. I would say not even in order from like most important, but reports. It's super easy now for me to capture. Every month I send out reports. Every quarter I send out reports about the number of volunteers and the hours. I can do that in 5 minutes with your platform. It's super easy. I can customize reports if I need information about a specific user group that came out. So if I need to capture data on how often they've been out, the usability of reports, thanks to Volunteer, I don't even have to go into Salesforce anymore because I can capture it all from the reports that you all offer for it to be used. Another great feature about Volunteer Hub is I get a ton of volunteers that are volunteering for an hours requirement, school, court, things like that. Now versus looking at a paper sign-in sheet or trying to go into their account, like I can go into their account and I can see right away how many hours they have, and I can send that letter to them in minutes prior even to trying Galaxy. That could take up to weeks sometimes if their sign-in sheet was paper at a separate store. Obviously, ease in setting up of volunteer opportunities, that was a big one for us when we were looking at platforms with so many different options that we offer to volunteer at. We needed an easy way to set up opportunities. So the fact that you offer recurrence templates, or even if I have a one-time event, it's super easy to create those opportunities and then also advertise for them. So I would say one of the greatest things that's come out of all of this is that I now have a whole network in Volunteer Hub that I can email at every time. I send out monthly emails to give updates on our volunteer opportunities, new events, and things like that. So Volunteer Hub has helped us increase that engagement database. I couldn't even put a number on it because we didn't really have one in existence before. So yeah, like all of that combined, all of the features that you use and how they're able to integrate with each other. At our restores, we just started using the kiosk feature for volunteers to sign in and out, which has been really great. So
I love to hear the excitement in your voice when you talk about Volunteer Hub.
I started with the Outlook at the affiliate. So yeah, this is all, and I actually I stepped away from being in the volunteer. So we got Volunteer Hub, and then I actually went into a different department for a few years. So I just got fully back into using it about a year and a half ago. So yeah, it's been great to see it exceed the expectations that we initially had for it.
So two more questions
Yep.
about Volunteer Hub, and one is, what was your experience like with the Volunteer Hub team? So like implementation, training, and support.
That was all great. No complaints with that. They were super easy to answer questions. What was great about all the volunteer hub support, and even to this day, is that after we have the calls, you all would send like follow ups on videos, the demonstration pages. So, yeah, no, absolutely no complaints. You all have been wonderful, wonderful to work with, and you always answer our questions. You're always great about taking into account feedback. So, yeah, it was a very seamless process.
Well, that's great to hear. And then my second question is, with 1,800 volunteers a year, what has the adoption been like on the volunteer side?
Yeah, no, good. Actually, really, really good. Obviously, you'll have some volunteers who, aren't super used to using technology, but the reason we haven't had complaints is because how easy your platform is for the volunteers to use. It's so user friendly for them to be able to get on there to see what's available. And it also still allows us to have that personal element. So a lot of volunteers, a digitized platform is great, but they still want to have that personal connection with me. Well, now, thanks to Volunteer Hub, I actually have the time to have conversations with volunteers, to maybe send them a personal email or have a phone call, versus before Volunteer Hub, my entire role was just scheduling, scheduling, scheduling.
And it sounds like I know the answer to this question, but do you feel like you're getting a return on investment from Volunteer Hub?
100%. Yeah, really in every aspect. Time being a huge one. The amount of time that Volunteer Hub has saved us is, for myself, for volunteers, for even the staff that interact with volunteers. Like I just told you, now I'm able to really focus on that personal connection with volunteers, with my community engagement role, and things like that. Time, the reporting, we're able to be way more accurate with reporting, which is super, super important, especially since we have to report to different entities, Habitat for Humanity International. So, yeah, definitely huge return on investment, really in every aspect.
So to kind of switch gears and go back to Habitat for Humanity South Central New Jersey, can you talk a little bit about, if somebody wants to volunteer for your organization, how would they go about finding volunteer opportunities?
Yeah, so for our affiliate, like if someone reaches out to volunteer, I usually kind of have a whole template that I send them of what we're able to offer, and they are then sent to our Volunteer Hub, the main landing page. Now we started actually branching off to different restore volunteer roles. So depending what they're interested in, they can click the landing page for the restore, for the build or repair sites, for youth opportunities if they want. They can go to those landing pages, see everything that we offer, and then sign up from there.
I really appreciate, again, you taking time out of your day. Managing 1,800 volunteers is a lot. So I appreciate you taking a little short break from your day to talk to me about your experience with Volunteer Hub. And I'm really happy to hear that things are going really well.
Of course, yeah, anytime.